Excretory products and their elimination. Excretory excretion. Excretion is the removal of the metabolic waste from the body. Animals accumulate anemia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, water, and ions like sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, sulfate, etc., either by the metabolic activities or by means like ingestion. These substances have to be removed totally or partially. Ammonia, urea, and the uric acid are the major forms of nitrogen waste excreted by the animals. Ammonia, urea, and uric acid. They are the major waste materials. Different animals based on the modes of the excretion. First are the ammonotalic, ureotalic, then the uricotalic. The excretory waste is ammonia. In the ureo, it's the urea, and the urico is the uric acid. Requirement of water is very large. It is less than the ammonia, and it is least. But the mechanism of excretion in the ammonotalic is by diffusion across body surface or through gill surface in fish as ammonium ion. Diffusion through surface as ammonium ion. Uh, Here, ammonia produced by metabolism is converted into urea in the liver and released into the blood, which is filtered and excreted out by the kidneys. It is filtered by the kidneys. It is in the form of the pellets or paste. It is the most toxic, less than the ammonia, and it is least. It is in the bony fishes, aquatic insects, and amphibians. These are present, euryotalic are the mammals, marine fishes, and the terrestrial amphibian. Terrestrial amphibians. Euricotalic are the reptiles, birds, insects, and land snails. Then the organs of excretion in the different animals. Protozoans have contractile vacuoles and the plasma membrane. Wait. Animal organs of excretion. Protozoans. Contractile vacuole. And plasma membrane. Hydra and sponges. General body surface. Then we have rennet cells, What the heck? You will talk. It's in the Escalmantes. Planarians. Earthworm. Insects. Spider prawn. Mollusks. Vertebrates. Planarians. Flame cells. Earthworm have nephridia and chlorogorgon cells. Insects have the Malpighian tubules. Spider coxal glands. Prawn and tin glands are the green. Mollusks, Skaber's organ and organs of Bogenus. Vertebrates, kidneys. Human excretory system. Okay. It is consists of kidneys, pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and a urethra. First is kidneys. They are reddish brown, bean shaped. They are situated between the levels of last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae. The right kidney is little lower than the left, close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity, just below the diaphragm. The right kidney is lower than the left. The right is lower than the left. Okay. Each kidney of an adult human measures 10 to 12 centimeter in length, 5 to 7 centimeter in width, 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness, with an average weight of 120 to 170 gram. Towards the center of the inner concave surface of the kidney is a notch called the hilum, through which ureter, blood vessels, and the nerves enter or leave the kidney. The outer layer of kidney is a tough capsule. Inside the kidney, there are two zones, the outer cortex and the inner medulla. A human kidney possesses 2 to 3 major calyces which open into renal pelvis, which in turn leads into the ureter. The medulla is divided into a few conical masses, medullary pyramids projecting into the calyces. The cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids as renal columns called the columns of Bertini. Kidney is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. Then they have structure of nephron. Nephrons are the structure and the functional units of the kidney. Okay, each kidney has nearly 1 million complex tubular structures called nephron. Each nephron has two parts, the glomerulus and the renal tubule. Glomerulus and renal tubule. Okay. Glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries formed by the afferent arteriole, which is a fine branch of renal artery. Blood from the glomerulus is carried away by an efferent arteriole. Renal tubule begins with a double-walled cup-like structure called the Bowman's capsule, okay, which encloses the glomerulus. Glomerulus, along with the Bowman's capsule, is called the Malpighian body or the renal corpuscle, along with the Bowman's capsule. They both are called the Malpighian body or the renal corpuscle. The tubule continues further to form a highly coiled network, which is PCT, proximal convoluted, a hairpin shaped Henle's loop in the next part of the tubule, which has a descending and ascending limb. The ascending limb continues as the another highly coiled region called the distal convoluted tubule. The descent of many nephrons open into a straight tubule collecting duct, many of which coverage and open into renal pelvis through medullary pyramids in the calyces. Now we're gonna draw the structure of the kidney first. Kidney is has the reddish brown, so they should be a red color. Okay, here we're gonna draw. Now renal vein. This is renal vein. Then renal artery. Okay. Then the ureter. Ureter be like this. Okay, this is a ureter. Okay, now we're gonna draw. Let's take the blue. No, blue is used already. Let's take the green. Yeah. Medullary pyramids. Okay. Then the renal column. Let's draw the renal column. तो है जो we have this something like this. These are maybe the Malphizian bodies. Okay. Okay. Now this is the medullary pyramid. This is called the medullary pyramid. All right. This unit is the calyx here. This. Okay. And this is ureter. This is renal pelvis. This is renal vein. Renal artery. Renal column. We also have this is the renal column. This is cortex. And this is renal capsule. This is a longitudinal section of the kidney. Okay. Here we're gonna draw. Let me just take the another sheet. Human urinary system. Okay. Through red we have this is the okay. Now we're gonna draw this side which is inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava like this, and this. Okay. Yes. Now here I'm going to draw the kidney. Okay. This side too. Yeah. And above this, I'm gonna draw the adrenal gland. Just like this. Okay. Then I draw the ureter. Ureter should be with the dark green. Okay. Like this something. Yeah, that's perfect. So this is the adrenal gland. This is the kidney. This side is the renal vein, but this is renal artery. Medulla is inside this. This is the cortex, and the renal pelvis is also inside this, which I did in the previous. Okay, it is the inferior vena cava. It is the urinary bladder. Dorsal aorta. Ureter. This is human urinary system. Human urinary system. This was the kidney longitudinal section. Pretty कुछ तो है जो okay. We have one more. The Malpighian corpuscles, PCT, DCT of the nephrons are present in the renal cortex, loop of the Henle, and collecting duct and duct of Bellini are found in the renal medulla. The cells of the PCT have numerous brush border microvilli which increase the surface area. The next part of the tubular hairpin shaped Henle's loop has a descending and ascending limb. Descending limb of loop of Henle is relatively thin and long. It is freely permeable to water and is lined with the squamous epithelial cells. Okay, it is freely permeable to water and is lined with the squamous epithelial cells. However, the cells possess sparse microvilli and the fewer mitochondria. Ascending limb of loop of Henle is comparatively thicker and is composed of flattened cuboidal epithelium. The ascending limb continues as the another highly coiled tubular region called the distal convoluted tubule. The DCTs of the many nephrons open into a straight tube called the collecting duct, many of which converge and open into the renal pelvis through medullary pyramids in the calyces. We have the types of nephrons: cortical, juxtamedullary. Corticals are the majority of nephrons in human kidney are of this type. Loop of Henle is too short, and then the juxtamedullary loop of Henle is very long. Some of nephron, 50% of the human kidney are of juxtamedullary, and 85% are the cortical. Juxtamedullary, wow, so pretty. Juxtamedullary runs deep into the medulla, and cortical extends very little into the medulla. And then the cortical loop of Henle is too short, and loop of Henle is very long in the juxtamedullary.